Hi, everyone. Welcome to another live stream. We're doing this pretty much every morning with TechCheck, and it could really not be a better day to have Michael Sonnenshein of Greyscale with us. Michael, welcome. And we were just talking about how this format is a bit more fun than talking to sort of a black screen, right?
Indeed it is. Thanks for having me.
So it's nice to see each other. Let's dive right in. I mean, people who just tuned in saw the chart of Bitcoin over the last 24 hours or so. Yes, there you have it. Dip below 50,000. We're back above that now. And Michael, is this really all on a tweet from Mr. Elon Musk? How much credit do we need to be giving him? Tell us first your thoughts on what's just happened over the last 12 hours or so.
Well, I think there's certainly no doubt that there are a variety of really influential players in the crypto ecosystem who are able to move markets simply based on some of their commentary. And that's certainly the case here. I view this as a really important opportunity for the crypto ecosystem as a whole to really change the narrative and really focus on finding energy sustainable solutions for cryptocurrency mining. This is a preconceived notion that Bitcoin is out there mining, consuming a lot of energy, melting the polar ice caps. And the truth of the matter is we got to stick to the facts. About 76% of miners today are using cryptocurrency mining related to renewable energy sources. And not only that, but I think it's actually only about 13 basis points of global CO2 emissions every year come from cryptocurrency mining. So we're still talking about a pretty small impact. So I think there's a real opportunity for us to rally around this initiative.
Calling it a small impact, though, and I know there's people on both sides of these. You can find statistics that sort of support this idea of huge energy consumption, and then some that say, well, we waste this much already. But let me bring you one of this. Cambridge Center for Alternative Finance estimates that it's more than Sweden uses in a year. So can't call that small, right? But at the same time, it's also equal to 1.5 years worth of wasted energy in the US from devices that are just left plugged in. But I think what you're saying, though, is that we're going to have to find better ways to use and mine Bitcoin, right?
Absolutely. And it's important to remember where we are in the life cycle of this asset. If you rewind the clock 10 or 12 years ago, your store-bought computer could mine Bitcoin. Today, Bitcoin mining has become a very intense, very competitive industry, and you've seen some real giants emerge that are really working to ensure that they're not only able to compete away other folks mining, but they're doing so actually through a competitive edge around energy consumption. So a lot of the largest miners are setting up geographically in the world where they have access to renewable sources, wind, solar, hydro, and in many cases, they're actually utilizing energy that would otherwise go wasted and unused on the grid. So it's, we're midway through the evolution of this. And again, it does really represent a big opportunity for the crypto industry to continue to find sustainable sources to support crypto mining.
Right. Key to note, opportunities for the crypto community. And, Elon Musk referred to this in his tweet, but are there more sustainable, less energy intensive cryptocurrencies like Ether and Dogecoin, if you will, that, could benefit from his comments and Tesla, not accepting payment in Bitcoin anymore?
It's certainly possible. There's a variety of digital currencies out there that have either come into the fold through a mining process. They may be a proof of work or proof of stake protocol. They may be pre-mined. So there's a pretty varied landscape of the ways that the supply of various digital currencies are governed. And today, in its current format, Bitcoin is a proof of work protocol, meaning that it does need to be mined, and through the mining process, not only are transactions confirmed, but that's how new Bitcoin are brought into circulation.
Are you convinced that a few years from now, Bitcoin is going to be the most mainstream cryptocurrency? I had someone say to me yesterday, 2 years, it's going to look like your grandpa's crypto and others will take over. So why should people, continue to believe that Bitcoin is going to be the best bet?
So one of the most important attributes of Bitcoin is that it is an open source protocol. And that means that over time, it can change, it can grow, it can morph, it can add in new features. And this is not distinct from other open source protocols. And so the fact that Bitcoin has survived, been challenged countless times throughout its history, and continues to come back faster and stronger and with a more resilient network is really important. And so that open source nature is one of the things that for us gives us the comfort that it won't be the MySpace to the eventual Facebook. But it also doesn't negate the idea that we believe that the future does have a cohort of digital currencies that coexist, occupy different markets, and have different use cases. And Bitcoin could very well just remain one of them.
I like the MySpace to my Facebook. I was thinking of going the Netscape to a Google.
That's a good one too.
There's a few that you can use. But, Ether has been on such a run. Why are you so convinced that Ether is not going to be the Facebook or the Google of the crypto generation, and that it's going to continue, it's going to remain Bitcoin, especially now that these environmental issues have been brought so much into the mainstream?
I think that the landscape could actually look very similar to the precious metals family. And we've certainly seen how Bitcoin has started to really replace gold as a store of value, but perhaps more akin to the digital age. And so the same way that you might see platinum, silver, gold all exist side by side as part of the precious metals family, there's a future state where you could see Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other digital currencies coexist. And again, each have addressable markets, distinct use cases, and distinct pricing. Too early to tell, because again, we're in the early days of where this asset class is going.
Where do you put Dogecoin? Does it ultimately become one of those precious metal cryptocurrencies, or is this sort of I don't know, what do you make of it?
So Dogecoin is certainly not a focus for us at Greyscale or for our investors. They tend to gravitate towards protocols that have real world solutions embedded in them that are really looking to attack problems we have today with other technologies, create efficiency, save time, save money. And so Dogecoin isn't an area where we focused.
Okay, got it. I know that the Bitcoin bulls, some of them have been angry at Elon Musk for tweeting this out and pouring cold water on the use cases and potentially the value of Bitcoin. Do you think that there were any sort of ulterior motives here, or that could come out later? Do you think that it's possible that Elon Musk, for example, is working on a Tesla coin that he could bring out? What would be the reason for him to do this, since the environmental issues were pretty clear before he tweeted this out?
I think anything is possible. I think if we know Elon and know other folks, there's always interesting ideas behind a lot of the messages that they're putting out there. So certainly anything is possible. That being said, I think, hearing from investors, even just this morning since the tweet last night, it's important that they're remembering and reminding us that if their conviction hasn't changed and they're still just as excited about having Bitcoin in their portfolio, but they're able to buy it 10 or 15% lower than they could yesterday, then that presents a really compelling opportunity for a lot of them. And so we've often seen investors use these types of events, these pullbacks, to really average down on their positions.
Yes, those are the ones that are already believers. But what about some of the folks, and I'm talking institutions, corporations, that have been on the fence? When they saw Tesla, Square, and some other companies become more involved with cryptocurrencies, they were thinking, and I've talked to a lot of them that say they're thinking about Bitcoin. They may not be ready to move right now, but is it possible that, Elon Musk's hesitation here could cause other corporations to rethink their crypto plans?
I don't think so. What we've actually seen even this morning, companies who've been very outspoken about the space, companies like MicroStrategy and my friend Michael Saylor, they actually announced that they bought more Bitcoin on this pullback.
But those are the believers.
Well,
those are the believers, Michael. I'm talking about the people on the edge, the Ubers and Lyfts who are considering taking Bitcoin, but haven't made that leap, or companies that have a lot of cash on hand that are thinking about putting some in reserves, not the believers.
New companies are adding Bitcoin to their balance sheet every day. Last week, we saw Mercado Libre, publicly traded company, call it the eBay of South America, just revealed that they had added Bitcoin to their balance sheet. The narrative around this has really shifted. If you're a corporate treasurer or a corporate CFO, you are looking for yield, you are looking for returns, and it's a very challenging environment. And a lot of these companies are sitting on cash, looking to find other ways to produce returns, and they're looking at alternatives like Bitcoin. And whereas they once may not have had the wherewithal to do so because they may get pushback from shareholders or their boards, the narrative has shifted, and it's really now something that they're all looking towards because it presents a risk-reward opportunity that they, quite frankly, can't find in other investable assets.
So you don't think this has the ability to slow down that pace at all in terms of the corporate uptake?
I don't. We started to see this trend pick up in late 2020 and very much believe that throughout 2021, you're going to continue to see more of the legacy financial institutions, credit card processors, insurance companies, banks, all moving into this asset class. And with each day that passes, we're seeing further and further adoption across all of those players.
Okay, I want to ask you, we've got a few more minutes left, about central bank digital currencies. I know that China has been trying its hand, and there has been, especially compared to some of the other countries in the US, Powell and Yellen, some more hesitation. They talk about it in terms of its value to transact, but a lot of folks who are bullish on the cryptocurrencies and just the technology behind it say that it's a lot more than that. Do you think that some of the skepticism over the last 12 hours even in coverage makes US policymakers pull back a little bit and sort of further put hurdles up in the direction of the sort of institutional government adoption of cryptocurrencies and even the technology behind it?
Well, there's certainly been no shortage of projects, white papers, research done around the idea of central bank digital currencies. And to your point, we've definitely seen actors like China get out in front of that, pursuing a digital renminbi, but also seeing projects like the digital dollar. We fundamentally believe that in our lifetimes, we will see fiat currency move to a blockchain-based system that will allow for greater oversight. But it's also important to remember that that will still represent a meaningful departure from decentralized digital currencies like Bitcoin. We don't believe that governments will give up their ability to print or retract or set rates. And it will continue to, I think, highlight the role that decentralized currencies may have. And there's also very much so a world in which both decentralized currencies like Bitcoin and central bank digital currencies are able to coexist.
Right. So end of the day, you think the tweet is going to be a blip on the long-term story of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies? That's what you're saying? Could be an opportunity now?
It is an opportunity. It definitely is an opportunity. And, before you know it, we'll have other developments in the space, announcements from other companies getting involved in the ecosystem, and really seeing the crypto community continue to push the asset class forward.
Well, we will continue to track it. Tune into TechCheck as well. That kicks off in 45 minutes. We're going to be talking more about this. But Michael, it was so great to have your comments and your insights for our online audience. And we hope to talk to you again soon.
Thank you so much.
Okay, take